Welcome to the Audio Link podcast.
Yo.
I have a cold. Or it's
Brandon has a
COVID.
cold.
I don't know. We'll find out later. Just kidding. We won't find that out. But, yep. We talk about compression today. It's a lot of fun. And a lot of rabbit trails, you know, but I think we get
Compression's fun. We're all obsessed. Hope you guys enjoy.
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Gah! That was I
What's...
was texting Isaiah, so I couldn't. Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the...
Better late than never. Okay.
Yes, why are you slowing
Got you.
Welcome to the Audio Link podcast. Tom and Brandon here.
We're in the lobby of my studio.
Yeah.
We wanted a different setup.
Yes,
Also,
and we have some nice pictures here featuring Nick Gaggero, and Nick Gaggero's uncle, Nick Gaggero.
So Nick works in this room right here to our right.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was funny. That's Chris Martin.
I am
and
aware.
Ayrton Senna. It's fine. But it's fine. It doesn't matter.
Renault.
Can
I hear you say
Renault? I can't do it like the guy on the Netflix series.
Yeah.
Who?
Renault.
Kirill? Is that his name? Kirill?
Yeah, the
He's the director. Or
when
the
Carlos
principal.
Sainz was there.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't do it. I'm like sick, so I can't talk.
That's all right. I thought
If I start laughing, I will cough. I will. Hello.
Okay, today we are going to be talking about something that all of us doing audio think about, and it is compressors. We love talking about compression. You know, I think if you're into audio, you are slightly addicted to compressors. Do you agree with that? Don't you have some type of strange obsession?
Addicted is the wrong word. I think
obsessed.
As a beginner, you like okay, they exist.
Yeah.
There's this one on my X32. You know,
it's a compressor.
But what does it do? Why does it do it?
How does
what
it do
is
it?
attack? Why am I being attacked? You know, those things. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of like in-depth things that are not necessarily apparent. Like this one sounds different than that one. You know. So. Yeah.
Okay. So what I thought it would be cool to talk about is I wanted to talk about some different compressors and styles of compression and why we do it. Right? You know, you want to maybe pay attention to the podcast a little bit here?
Yes, I'm coughing.
Oh, yes. Cough.
I'm sorry.
You're coughing through your thumbs on your phone.
It's a new technique.
Yes.
No, I'm sorry.
Coughs.
I'm sorry. I'm telling Isaiah to pack up mics to send to this recording for Gracie Binion. We're doing.
Oh, nice.
Anyway.
Shout out to the Binions.
Yes.
Very good family.
Sorry.
You're good. You're good. It's fine. So
repeat your question.
Yeah. So what my question was, I don't remember, but what we're talking about here is different compressors, what they are, why we use them.
Okay.
That's kind of what I was thinking of talking about. I want to talk. Let's just start by talking about speech and vocals. Maybe let's start with vocals. When you think about vocals and you think about compression, where does your head go regarding what compressors, and then what are you trying to do? Why?
So let's talk about.
Let's go deeper than just our surface stuff. Yeah.
So with like singing and musical context, or like
singing,
or like talking,
singing. And then we'll talk about talking because that's what I'm really passionate about.
I was really influenced by the seal, like watching those old YouTube videos of Chris Lord-Alge talk about the way he uses his like 76
max the 10K
this
or the 8K.
It's a little dark. Ooh, you know, like sometimes you gotta just brighten it up, you know.
It's simple.
Slam it. But he has like, 4 million original 76s behind him. So all of them. He has all the 76s.
It's like all of them.
The 1176. And the way he would use those on vocals, like he would use them to increase the energy. You know, one of his settings is like, slow attack, fast release. It helps you really like get punchy. And so I'd listen to him and say that. It's like, what does that mean? Why does attack and release affect it? And the 76 is a fixed threshold compressor. So the threshold of compression doesn't change. Your input level and your output level change. That's why there's two knobs. So what does that mean? And it set me on a kind of a rabbit trail, or like a, bunny. What is it?
Rabbit trail.
We go down the rabbit hole. Yeah.
Rabbit hole.
Of what is a compressor, and like what is the like what do the ratios mean? Does pushing all the buttons on a 76 mean you're adding up all the ratios together? Right?
Yep.
And so that's what I think that it got me onto this like flavor of like kind of learning why something is the way it is and why what people use it for. And then I would kind of test that in a way, like mixing in the studio, it's easier to test stuff because, it's a controlled environment, a lot more time. Live, you couldn't really do it until like multi-rack came out, and
God bless Waves.
Yeah. And then at the time, no one was like, no one's console was emulating, a 76 or a 2A or something, So it was just, you had to like learn and kind of take those tricks, slow attack, fast release, whatever, and use it. And, if you notice like when you do slow attack, fast release, your gain reduction goes way down and you have to lower your threshold a lot. So that's because like, you're slowing up the attack. So like more
You're
gets
missing
through.
a lot of the signal.
More gets through before the compressor starts. And I realized like, okay, what does attack mean? Like, what is a threshold? What is a ratio?
Yeah.
I realized that like there's so much behind this. I gotta figure it out. So, what's cool about all the old gear is that none of it was done like right. There's no like correct way to do it. Right. It's all like a lot of it worked by mistake. Like, it worked, like it's
true. Like the things that were the main hitters just accidentally were amazing.
For example, like that 76, you push all four ratio buttons in.
4, 8, 20. And
it's like, 4, 8, 10 or
10
something.
and
No, I don't know.
40,
20.
whatever. All.
You push them all in, and it doesn't actually add up all the ratio. And it's now this like insane
It's just some
limiter.
random effect.
But it adds a lot of like harmonic content. And I can't remember exactly the function, but it's like a harmonic thing for all the, I go back and look.
Well,
at
it adds all of it puts in all those transistors at once, and then it's just like tons of compression.
But it doesn't actually do that. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't do that.
What's the ratio then?
It's not. I think it's 4-1 or 8-1. It's like it's
a lot.
It was an accident. It wasn't like.
Yeah,
a real.
Someone figured it out that it just went crazy.
Yeah, I remember watching a video on the history of it, and they said that like it doesn't add all of them up, but it, it's like it adds a lot of.
It's some other harmonic
like
content.
The difference between like the black face one and the blue face.
Yeah, I know the threshold is lower on the blue. That's all I know.
Yep. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah. So that's great on the 76. So just tell me more pointed to my question here.
Sorry, I didn't answer your question.
No,
we had a conversation about this.
We just talked about this. We just
he called me. He's like, "Hey, bro, can I be honest with you?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "You don't answer my questions." I'm like, "Ah."
We weren't talking about the podcast. We were talking about real life.
Other things that matter.
Other things that actually matter. Not about compressors. So here's my question. So
sorry,
when you're thinking, it's okay. No, you're good. You kind of answered the question. So the 76 is the first place you start. So when you think about vocals specifically, why the 76? What is it? What does it do that you like? Is it the only compressor that you use? What settings generally do you use? What are you thinking about? What are you trying to do?
Why? It's like,
but the why?
Yeah, it's like, who is Gamora? What is Gamora? Why is Gamora?
Why is Gamora?
That's what was going through my mind.
Chris Pratt, dude.
That was Dave Bautista.
No, I know, but I just thought of Chris Pratt, and he's hilarious.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of make. I think everyone has to have like a process, you know. Once you've gotten to a certain level of mixing, like you know what you like, you know what your ears like, and you know also couple that with what workflow you like, and so why do you do a 76? I think I've gone through phases in my mixing career where I'll like do a 76 and then a 2A after it, and then I have a process that works for most vocals, right? And until you get someone who just destroys all of your, thresholds.
I know those people.
But like, I think once you like understand what the compressor is doing, and then it makes it easier to achieve a sound.
Yes.
And so I say all that.
Describe to me what the 76 is doing. If you had to describe it to me. What is it doing to the vocal? And what are the settings, and then what is it doing? It's
really, really good at getting in and getting out super quickly.
Yes.
Like it's really almost, it's not transparent, but it's very pleasing. When it compresses hard, it's like, ooh.
It sounds good.
I kind of like that.
Yes.
And the 2A is the same, but the 2A, you're kind of, you can adjust the threshold, but you don't have as much like control. You have your HPF filter at the bottom, which is cool, but you don't have as much like nuance behind it. Some guys run the 2A first and then the 76. I don't like that, and the reason
which one's faster?
Well, the 2A is fixed, so it's kind of a slow release.
What's the attack on the relate? Do you think the attack on the 2A is faster than is fast?
The attack is
fast.
I was gonna say it's medium. It's not super fast
on the 2A.
Mm-hmm. Because I used it on like my snare bus for a long time,
and it works
because it works really well.
It leaves a lot.
Lets your transient in, and then it like rides.
Yes,
the volume.
yes.
But
okay, yeah.
All that to say, I like to get the sound that I want, and then use the 2A if I'm using it to control like the absolute peak,
random peaks.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
because
the point
it also sounds good, but when you're like burying yourself in a 2A.
Putting it first makes all of the sense then, and you do that? You put it first?
I put the 76 first.
Logically speaking.
Oh boy, I'm about to get hammered with logic.
If we're facing not our feelings, how the PAs feel, but if we're just looking at the facts.
Oh yeah.
Logically speaking, before that signal goes into the 76, theoretically, we're getting compression that we don't want. Why? If we let this peak of signal go into the 76.
But I like the way the 76 controls it more than the 2A.
Even though it's then going to be dealt with behind the 76, isn't that going to make the 76 work too hard? I agree with you. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I think, well, first of all, you can make both. So I think your first compressor.
You understand the concept I'm saying?
Yeah, the first compressor has to, in my opinion, it's either doing peak control or it's doing the majority of your
RMS.
Compression.
I call it RMS compression. Yeah.
It's a ship. RMS.
Yeah.
It sounds like a ship. RMS Titanic. Yeah.
Yes, the RMS.
Yeah. It's interesting because I like the tone that I'm going for is going to be shaped by that first compressor, right?
Correct.
I feel like, in my experience, when I put the 2A first, it's more out of my control because it's doing a certain thing, and I like the way the 2A sounds, right? But you're not. But I think that
I'm fully with you. I'm just thinking this through.
If it's doing 8 to 10 dB of compression, I don't have control over.
I see your point.
All of that.
If that big peak goes into the 2A,
your vocal disappears.
Correct. That's the problem. So if it's after and it can knock that small margin. See, but if the threshold is high on the 2A.
Yep.
And it just does random little knocks on it first. I know an engineer that did this, and he explained it to me this way, and it made sense.
Yeah,
but I don't do it this way.
It makes sense.
It just
both
slight
ways.
knocks, but then when it goes into the 76 is when it gets the most of it.
So I've kind of like I pulled in my live.
We're just talking about the order here, but it matters.
It does matter. I think it's.
Have you ever tried it with the 2A first?
Like years ago, years and years.
And you had more success with the 76.
As I've evolved, I found, especially like mixing sometimes a lot in the prayer room, where like there's a lot of different bands coming up. Like you try to make your template as universal as possible.
Yes,
and
that's the key
with
to audio link in general.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Yeah.
So like when a new band comes up, there's no sound check. Load the file, and it's 85-90% there. All you gotta do is touch gain.
10% gain touch, and then another 3% of
artistic
taste.
Innovation, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
Of the high band and the low mid
so
band on the
I
EQ,
feel like
on the vocals.
And I'm open to anything. Like I have no strong opinions about this.
No, yeah, I'm just asking. Yeah, I do the same thing.
I think I found that using the 76 to do like the heavy lifting, because there's gonna be a vocalist who has that Pentecostal bump.
Yep.
Where it was like super quiet.
Pentecost, hence the shofar behind us. We are charismatics, if you were wondering.
The Pentecostal bump is what I call it, like that 60 beat jump in volume. Yeah. So that into, it's easier to get the 76 to control that level than the 2A to control that level, because if that gain isn't right, it allows you a moment to fix it.
There's more margin for error.
There's more margin for error. Yes.
You're right. That makes sense. That makes sense to me.
And then the 2A just has to do like a couple dB, couple
max,
2, 3 dB,
2, 3 max, yeah. That's where the sweetest moments.
It's cool. And it sounds good because it's like it's not doing a lot, but the release time is so long.
It's no longer in the file though.
What's that?
It's no longer in the file. Finish your point about the release time.
No, it's just on the 2A. It's so long. The release time is, and I feel like if you use it first, it pulls away all your energy.
That's true. The release time is another factor of why it can't go first. Interesting. What I was gonna, Why do we pull it off the file? Why do we pull the 2A off the file?
Because
too much margin for error.
No, I think I pulled it off because it was. I went through a season of wanting to use fewer things, right? And I think that with just guys coming in and mixing that upper room in the prayer room, like knobs would get turned because they're there to turn.
Oh,
and
I was talking about audio link.
What's that?
I wouldn't just talking about upper room.
Yeah. Why did we pull it off the audio link file? It probably was never on the audio link file. Because I pulled it off my normal use case right before we'd started.
Before we started.
So I've been running and all that, another reason is that think about the amount of compression. Like our vocal chain is like a filter.
Just tell everybody the vocal chain. Just tell them.
Depends on,
we have an episode about this. I don't know why I'm acting like it's novel. Go ahead.
Filter, like high pass filter, whatever. Compression. So 76 or 2A. If we,
SSL channel with shaping EQ.
I don't think we have the SSL channel on the vocal chains.
What's doing the high pass filter, brother? SSL channel.
Just no. I think it's on the LV1. It's just or on Pro Tools. It's a Pro Q.
On LV1, it's SSL channel.
I don't think so, but okay. I don't know.
We don't use the.
No, I don't use the SSL channel.
We don't use the emo.
I do.
You do now?
Mm-hmm. The emo.
We need to talk in the conference room, Brendan.
1 second. No.
Conference room,
the emo,
5 minutes.
The emo's filter is just a filter, and it's great, and you can control it without being in the plugin, which is nice. So for certain vocals, you could just, whatever. Anyway,
sorry. High pass filter, then what?
Filter, and then a 76, and then we have an EQ. So like the F6 or in Pro Tools, I can't remember. There's more on the Pro Tools file, but 76 doing the bulk of the compression, and then EQ, and then a C4.
Your 76 is like this.
That's where it starts.
Yeah, and then you'll speed up the attack if needed.
Yeah, if someone is
aggressive.
really, really aggressive, then you could loosen up. Either it's crazy what
you could loosen up the release.
You could make the release longer, or
this is gold, guys,
faster. So it depends on the vocal. Sometimes it doesn't work, but typically, if you have a girl singing, girls' voices are typically female voices are edgier. They're a little edgier. So you want to speed up the attack a little bit, and then, but for a guy,
which means turning the attack knob clockwise, guys.
On the 76.
Yeah, that's how you speed up the attack.
Mm-hmm. And then if they're like really inconsistent with the mic placement, I'll slow down the release time a little bit because it helps keep it at a more consistent level. Yeah. But the harshness...
I've never tried that.
Yeah. It's not a lot, like just like 20% or whatever.
You're just catching them. You're already into gain reduction when they're starting a word, and that just helps.
It helps keep it smoother because you're like
Brandon,
not
you
having
just taught me something.
It's your signal level isn't raising back above your threshold. Or no. Your compression hasn't released
back above your resting state of the compressor. I call it resting state.
Yeah, we should talk about what actual like the numbers mean on a compressor.
You think people don't know?
I think it's more rare knowledge.
All right, I'll move through it really quick. You're saying like the ratio and all the different settings?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go really quick
like
through that.
What compression? 1 to 1, 2 to 1, 3 to 1. What does that mean?
Okay. So threshold is pretty much the point at which the signal is going to engage the compressor to have any type of action done to the audio. That's the threshold, and you can raise it so a higher signal would reach it, or you could lower it so at a lower value of the signal, it will engage the compressor, and the compressor will do something to the audio.
On the 76, that's a fixed level.
Correct. So imagine that's set, and if I just turn the input up, it's going to be more likely for me to engage it.
Yeah.
And then once I engage it, it gets engaged however it does. Now my final output volume of that compressor, though, is the output knob. So I could turn that down or up, right? But the input level entirely determines how much compression I get. The output volume, the output knob just determines how loud the signal is when it leaves the compressor. Attack.
So
go ahead.
All of that threshold, attack, release, everything that all that is after you've met your threshold.
Correct.
Yep.
I just bit some ice. You explain attack.
Oh yeah. So attack it's typically in milliseconds, but in some older compressors it's just a number, like on the 76, like 1 to 7, which ironically 7 is the slowest attack, and 1 is the fastest release. I'm pretty sure.
Very confusing.
It is. I think
the British are usually very logical, but that one.
Yeah. Well, it's. Well, I mean, if it's a gradient scale, lower number to higher number, it makes sense. But
I guess so. Yeah.
In most of them, so after your threshold is met, it takes, say, 10 milliseconds before the compressor starts.
From the moment that it hits the threshold. So once it hits the threshold, we have detection of a signal. The attack determines how long after that detection happens is the compressor actually going to go into effect and start pushing the signal level down. Yep.
And then the release is the opposite. So after it goes back down, after a signal goes back down below the threshold, how long does it take for the release function to let go of the signal?
Correct. So once the signal comes under the threshold again, that's when the release begins. Once it comes under the threshold again.
Actually, wait. Is that true?
Yeah.
Is that true? Because
you didn't know that.
If it's after
it doesn't just wait till
because if it's after compression starts, or is it?
It's not milliseconds because if it was milliseconds after compression starts, it would be releasing while that word is still going.
Yeah, that's true.
No, so it waits
Touché,
till it.
Touché.
That's good. I'm just a little more technical than you. Sorry.
That's true.
I'm joking. You're way more technical.
I'm just sick and
you're
foggy-minded.
Just foggy. Okay. So once that signal comes down, it comes below the threshold. It's no longer detected. Now this gain reduction starts to come off, right? But it was probably pushing below that threshold quite a bit. Yeah, or some amount, and it takes time to come off of the signal. So if more signal comes into it while it's releasing, it will start attacking again. Yeah. And if it hasn't fully released, this is kind of what Brandon was saying. If you have a slower release, it starts attacking again, and it hasn't really released. It might be just kind of like resting in this floating mode below the threshold, in a state of gain reduction, a continued amount of time. Yep. Which you'll really understand this when you play with it. Outgain, simple. I just talked about that. Did we not? Ratio.
Yeah. So ratio is how much gain reduction is going to happen. So 1 to 1 is no gain reduction. 1 dB in, 1 dB out. 2 to 1, 2 dB in, 1 dB out. right? 3-to-1, 3 dB in, 1 dB out. So that's what that ratio means, right?
It's talking about how much signal makes it out that actually passes the threshold. So if you have 3 dB past the threshold, if it's 3-to-1, 3 dB past the threshold, 3-to-1, 2 of the dB would get pushed down, 1 would still make it through. That's 101 of compression.
We've blown Nate's mind.
Yes. Nate just understood compression for the first time.
I'm so glad we could be of some use today.
All right. I don't know why we're going all the way back to the basics, but this is good. Okay, so 76 2A. Okay. So like on all of the vocals yesterday, I used RVox heavily.
I know.
You
do.
saw?
No, you do. It's
I use RVox heavily because I like for the vocals to be like popish.
Yeah.
I like them to be popish and fill the room if I want them to.
Mm-hmm.
I had RVox at like -6.
That's nice. I love it.
You like that?
Yeah, RX is great.
Yeah.
The reason I'll lean on one compressor is because I'm using a C4. And that's like, there's so much compression happening throughout your signal chain that if everything was doing 5 dB, by the end you're
I was
taking
not
out.
getting 5 dB. That's
but
the
like
thing.
if
Yeah,
everything's doing that, like it's easier to.
When Aaron was singing like this far away, he was still perfectly clear.
Yeah.
And then when he came this close, he didn't sound like compressy.
Yeah.
That's what our chain.
RVox is awesome.
RVox is insane.
I use it for the gate function most of the time.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
Yeah.
But yeah. I use it a lot in studio work though.
So, what I heard you say is with the 76, you're really trying to like aggressively control the vocal and you like how that sounds.
Yeah.
With the 2A, you're just trying to manage the peaks.
Yeah.
The RVox compressor, what are you trying to do with it? Do you ever use it?
I have used it a couple times, but not like if it's not in the file, I'm not one to like make changes.
Yeah,
like I don't like making like changes to my philosophy. I see it as if something isn't working, because I know that the tools that I have are good.
Yeah,
I know
it can
something
produce
else
killer
is
content.
the problem.
Yeah,
and so
I like that.
So I typically don't like. I won't add stuff. I won't add processing. If anything, I'll bypass something, and see where it sits. I think typically, if I were to build a file from scratch, that'd be different. I'd be like super open to new things and all that stuff. But for my own like mental clarity, that like the process and my workflow is super important. Like I know what's doing what, and I can identify problems faster.
Yeah, I think for anyone, sorry, I'm going off a little bit, but like I think for anyone, this reminds me of something really good.
Yeah.
I think it's valuable for you to have a system. Anything that you're going to do, I think it's valuable to have a system of thought that you stick to.
Yep.
You're not changing systems of thought every month, every year, right?
Yep.
You kind of stick to your system of thought. And I think like one of the reason AudioLink has just worked the way that it has is because we have a system of thought and we view it as north and we're not going to move it.
Well, yeah, it is a philosophy.
It's a philosophy, exactly. So if something's wrong, it's like theology. Like you have to do theology like God down.
Yeah.
You can't look at the earth and see what's there and try to make sense of God. You have to look at what God is and then like make sense of the earth in context of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And it's like you have to look at the Bible and make context of, make sense. And like I think with the file, because we have this philosophy, we know exactly everything is subtractive.
Yep.
If something's not right, take away, back up. Don't try to add and add to the recipe, add a new spice. Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for people like managing like mix for a church specifically, I think like mixing over time, if you keep adding, that was me for years. It was just like adding. Oh, I'm going to browerize the whole thing now. I tried to do that on a CL5. I tried to browerize on a CL5.
Mix into compression?
Yeah, it was the first time. It was atrocious, dude. My parents almost fired me.
Oh, God. And you're their son.
I almost lost my job as the sound engineer because I discovered compression, and I was just going nuts.
That's so funny.
Because I heard a Coldplay snare.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, how do you do that? But I just went crazy.
Live?
Yeah.
Was Brower mixing live for them?
No. We're multiple names were just mentioned there. I just heard a video of a live recording of Coldplay, and I heard the snare, and I was like, we talked about it once, and I was just like, how do you do that? It's like compression.
Ooh.
But
anyway.
Yeah. Okay, vocals we talked about.
Yeah.
76, if we're just leave you on vocals, 76 and 2A and RVox are where it's at. For me personally, if I would just give you guys my take, the compressor on the RVox for me is super important. And I said this to Nate the other day. It's funny. I was just like, that slider that says comp, it just means more vocal. That's all it means. So do you want more of the vocal? Just lower that. You want more vocal? Lower that. Now, if you have a 76 behind it, you have to bear in mind there's limits to how much more you can get.
Yeah.
But if you want more quiet words, slide that thing down. If you want less, raise it back up.
Yeah, it's also a fixed threshold compressor.
It's a fixed threshold, exactly.
Because that compression is adding gain.
It's adding gain.
That's why there's a gain slider on the other side that you can reduce.
Yep. But I'm just like, I want the verses to feel more intimate. 2 dB down on that thing. And just bring them forward. They're kind of all over the place. You know, RVox compressor can be really useful.
Yep.
I think it's extremely transparent personally. Like, I think it's really transparent. I don't feel much like top end loss. I don't feel like I hear compression. I just hear the voice. I don't hear any bad effects of compression.
Yeah.
I hear it good. And then the 76 behind that doing more dramatic stuff can be cool. I don't like on RVox seeing more than like 3 dB.
Yeah.
I think if so, it's bad. I'm typically using it because the vocal is too dynamic. They're like, or they sing really loud, you know, and it just like evens them out another 3 dB of margin towards zero, right?
Well, I'm using RVox on Hinox record that I'm mixing.
Well, that makes sense. He has a voice that you want to hear all the little like dirt in the voice.
He also has great mic technique. Also, his dynamic range is so loud. It's like super loud.
Dude,
or like whispered.
Beautiful voice. Check out Hinox record when it comes out.
So like that helps a lot.
What's his last name again?
Portella, I think.
Hinox Portella.
But he goes.
Shout out, my boy.
Hinox Gabriel is his like Spotify. Anyway,
Hinox Gabriel.
I want to say
yes. All right, let's talk about other stuff. So let's just talk about. Let's see.
Multiband. Multiband.
Yeah, I mean, talk to me about multiband compression. It's a huge topic.
It's great. It's really good.
The key to life.
I don't know if it's the key to life, but it's compression with tone shaping ability, right? So like, I love the C4. I prefer it to the C6, although the C6 is great as well. C4 is like simpler, and for some reason, I feel like when I use the C4 that I'm using something that has been passed down from generation to generation.
It's like an heirloom of software.
Yeah. It's like one of the only Waves plugins that hasn't had a GUI overhaul.
Waves?
Yeah. It's great. I love it.
Don't change it.
You can tell, like if you open C4 that like all the numbers are tiny, you're like, what is happening? But it does have a sound, and I like the sound that it has. The C6 does not have that sound. So,
you think so? You think there's a sonic difference?
I think there is.
Even if you're not using the floating bands?
Yeah, it's different. It's a little bit different. It's not like
major, but
I just like the flavor that it brings. So
the 4, it's just easy to get there with the 4.
I use it in studio records. I use it a lot. I'll use it on
Waves is probably gonna be like, it's the exact same code, just with 2 more bands. We will argue with them.
That's fine. I just noticed anyway. So I use C4 on my master. So I have
Pete, you do. Whoa. Talk to me about that.
It's not doing a lot. Jeez, bro.
That just tells me the mix is bad.
Oh God. Anyway, so no, it's all like 2 dB of compression. like across the whole band. Like it's not.
How are you deciding what the perfect level is though for each of those ranges?
It's not through mixing a lot and you kind of have stuff set.
Like being good.
I didn't say that, but
okay.
So,
I guess I understand.
Like the low band is like 3 or 4 dB, and it's set at like 80 hertz, and it's a slightly lower threshold because it controls the low end. It helps. It doesn't take punch away, but it rides the volume of the low end, right? Which is I find beneficial.
3 to 4 dB. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm. But it doesn't actually compress the ranges that much.
Yeah, how much is it usually hitting? Like
maybe 2. Yeah, 1 to 2. Yeah. I mean, I can look.
Okay, so it's kind of like I make this really good mix, and I'm happy with where it is. Here's the idea of what you're saying. Mm-hmm. I'm happy with where the mix is, but like I actually want it to stay here.
Yeah.
So if each of these ranges, if in moments it gets out, what this does is it keeps that range closer to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
So like all the ranges are.
That makes sense.
Like, low is like again 3 to 4 range. I think it might be lower than that, but the low mid is I want to say 2 dB. Upper mid is like half a dB, very little.
Yeah, you can't move that much.
Top end and the actual crossover is like I want to say it's like 10 or 12K. It's high.
Oh, so everything is mids.
Yeah, so it allows, and they're all not like doing a lot necessarily, but the low mid band for sure, it's got like the slowest attack possible and the fastest release possible for all that like energy that lives there, right? So like a snare, like some certain elements, the arpeggios stick out a lot, like in that 300, 600 hertz. That stuff helps just keep
clean.
It brings clarity a little bit. So.
It brings clarity. Interesting. Yeah. Talk to me about limiters.
The limiters
throughout the mix.
I think it's the definition of a limiter. Is it like any compressor above 10 to 1? Is it considered a limiter?
Something that says limiter on it.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Yes, that's sorry. If we're looking for educational purposes, yes. Anything above 10 to 1 is technically a limiter by British standards.
Mm-hmm. By British standards.
That's what they started calling limiters.
He went to school for this.
I mean, the Brits decided all of this stuff.
That's true. They do. So, like about what limiters I use?
Yeah, talk to me about limiters. Like, where are you looking to use limiters? I had a thing with limiters for a while. Mm-hmm. I chilled out. I feel like I might get back into it.
Yeah,
like random limiters throughout the mix. Mm-hmm. Where I'm just like, I want this thing to just stay there.
Yeah.
But like, is it good? Sometimes the reason I would get away from it is at some point I would take them off and I would be like, oh, there's so much more life that wasn't there.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
I don't use limiters live unless it's like on your two bus doing very little, like after your compression or whatever, just like the shape, help to unshape and limit your.
The multi-limiter, you're saying?
The L3LL. Yeah. It's nice. That's good. There's a Drew Levine preset that's really nice.
Interesting.
But yeah, in the studio, it's like, honestly, I don't use a lot of waves limiters in the studio because there's a lot of options out there. Obviously, live we're kind of limited, but yeah, like the Fab Filter stuff is amazing. Obviously, that Pro L2 is like the most transparent limiter.
Where would you be using that other than the master?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't? Yeah, just on the master. That's it. Okay, moving on. Guitars. If you're going to put a compressor on the guitar, what compressor and why?
I switch between our Renaissance Axe compressor, which is kind of cool. It's made for guitars.
I think that's the only reason we really use it.
Well, I've switched between that and the 76 a bunch. I don't find much use in like really hard compression
on guitars. Yeah.
So it's only doing minor like gain reduction, like 2 to 3 dB. And even like most of the work on guitars is going to be EQ if you're doing anything. I find that like most like the filter, little notch at 3K or whatever that harsh thing is. Typically, because the guitar players are playing through their compressor on their board, there's so much compression happening. Even with the digital amp sim or a real amp, like a real amp compresses the signal
quite a bit,
going through tubes and everything else. There's not a lot of need for compression. And so if you add a lot of compression to guitars, what that you'll have to do is ride the fader more because it's always the same level and it doesn't always work.
Yeah, it doesn't
when it's
work
really
with
quiet.
music.
You know, yeah, it doesn't
This
work
was
with
my
music.
issue for a long time right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I like for simplicity, maybe the Renaissance Axe is what we have, I think, on that file, but it's not doing much. It's not doing much. If anything, it's probably like a ceiling.
What do you have the attack
On the Axe?
on guitars usually?
It depends. Typically, it's faster.
Like 5?
Yeah, it's faster because it's not like you don't need.
Are you trying to catch the string pluck or no?
I think. Well, certain things it actually pulls it out more. It helps it be more defined.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not like with Garrett, whenever Garrett would play, he would have the best like string attack sound, like on his amps. It's like one of his trademark sounds. And yeah, that was just like, you don't need to control that as much. But if I were to try to control it, I'd have like a quicker attack on there. Typically, I like hearing more string noise, like, you know, because it gives you like, this guy's playing. It's not just a wall of sound.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can hear what's happening with his hand.
the percussive element.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's what, like acoustic guitars too. It's like, no one is looking to hear the whole chord. You know what I mean? In the mix, unless it's a quiet moment. Like in the mix, a big loud moment, that acoustic guitar is not going to be heard a lot. You'll hear
the resonance doesn't matter.
You'll hear the string noise. Yeah. So on acoustics, the string noise is valuable because it gives a
percussive element.
A percussive element that's nice. That might or might not be in time. So
about 88.5% of the time.
Yeah. Anyway, but typically I'm not doing. If I am like in the studio, I'll do multi-band compression on guitars, and I'll control certain areas that are problematic. So there's a lot of like mud that happens depending on in the lower mid range from like 1K and below, depending on the tone. There's going to be like non-musical harmonic content that's there somewhere that I'll kind of notch out, and with like a multi-band compressor, I'll kind of like scoop it a little bit and help it control that level, because it's not going to be like additive to the mix, you know. So.
Yeah, guitars okay. Bass. Well, I guess
good bass player. That's what you need,
dude.
They're so hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bass
Jacob played last night. It was fantastic.
Who?
Jacob.
Oh yeah, he's awesome. Plays everything. Literally plays everything.
Yeah.
So with bass, typically I'll start with like some sort of distortion box. So, like a Vitamin and Waves, or if like on the SXL, we have the Sansamp PSA 1, which is like it's just a great, like, gives you some tone, gives you some drive options, you know, that sort of thing on the bass.
Is there a wave solution to that?
Well, Vitamin's,
someone mixing live?
Vitamin's kind of close, but I haven't really found one that works nearly as well as that.
You know what I discovered that Dave Bautista put on that rig?
What?
Is Shep's 1073 with that drive engaged.
Mm-hmm. Is it nice?
All right.
Yeah. The Sansamp one is an old school Avid stock plugin. It's like a revibe. It's the reverb that Avid made 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And that Sansamp is great. It's just super old, and it hasn't been removed from anything, so it's working. you know. But it has general like low frequency EQ, high frequency EQ. It's it's just broad changes that are like, if you have someone that comes on stage, and plays bass, and it's just super thin, you can turn the highs down and add a lot of lows easily, and it helps you keep consistent tone. And if you use more of the preamp level and the drive level, all that stuff helps it kind of like do more what is expected.
Yep.
Especially like, I've made all these decisions doing stuff in the prayer room because there's so much variability.
Mm-hmm.
And I found
different basses, different players,
exactly.
different this.
Like some guys playing with a pick, other guys
with his fingers.
playing with the fingers, and has no pedal board direct into the DI box or to whatever. Like it's so you need to create that sound, and if it's too much, then I back it off. Like it's easy, even just engaged, it sounds good. It sounds like a bass.
Yeah.
And it sits in the mix. It's one of those ones that helps it sit better, right? Like in the mix, just whoop, cool.
Yeah.
But that into some compression. Like I'll do a lot of compression on bass. Typically, I think I have a 2A on there now, and then a multiband. A 2A is just riding it the whole, between 3 and 5 the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice on bass because it's slow, and you can actually move the high pass filter knob on the 2A. And so like move it down to like 20. No, so it lets some low end through. So it's not compressing the low end. It's compressing all the attack and everything else, which is great.
Oh, it's not responding to the low end.
It's the detection knob.
Yeah. It's being detected by the top end.
Exactly. So like your dynamics are
in time with the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, with the
And
timing
then-
of the plucks. Yeah.
Yeah, and then into some multiband, so like a C4 or whatever, riding the low end volume because that's going to be different, right? If your 2A is not compressing the low end, you need something to hold it together most of the time. But yeah.
Well, yeah. So, one thing I like discovered when I got down here was like bass tone that has a lot of mid range and top end. It was a new thing for me.
It's nice.
It is nice. It's like I think not viewing the bass. I always viewed the bass because of the bass tones I was usually dealing with. I just viewed the bass as like this source of sub. It's just sub. So like anything above 200 hertz, entirely useless. It was just sub.
Useless?
In the past. And then I started discovering bass tone with like actual overdrives and stuff where it's basically another guitar.
Yeah.
But it's just also has this super sub element to it.
Yeah.
And
it's a more controlled guitar sound.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that if I think through our clients that do a contemporary worship sound, the ones that I don't think we have one that sounds special that doesn't go for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's once you go for that, it can start to sound more like the really polished worship sound.
Mm-hmm.
Until you do that, there's like this major element missing.
Well, I think that's what a lot of contemporary worship actually is now. It's like it's that
mostly that bass overdrive.
That bass, that's
the guitars are a thing, but that bass overdrive is like half of it, half of the upper mids, dude.
Not half.
It's a lot.
Upper mids, no, I wouldn't say that. I'd say, the definition of the note is like
so much clearer now.
It's there, but it's not like a sustained like if the bass were half of the guitar sound, it'd be very loud.
Totally, yeah.
But it's that the bass occupies some sub and a lot of low mids, right?
Yeah,
but
a lot of low
not
mids,
all,
so you
but
can
like
hear
a
the
lot
notes,
of a lot of low mids, and then like the attack is getting heavily controlled.
Where is the attack for you?
Yeah,
is that 2?
Something like that, depending on. Oh, excuse me.
Stop coughing, please.
I know I'm sick. I'm sorry. Depending on the instrument and how it's sitting, you might like do whatever you need to do to shape.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's some guys who'll split bass channels and do a low and a high.
Yeah, I think that's whack.
It's not necessarily whack, but you just gotta, you gotta make sure you're not missing anything because you could miss entire notes.
And then, let's just talk to finish things up in the last few minutes here. Drums.
No compression at all. We don't need it.
Yes, agreed. All natural, just the playing needs to be perfectly level.
Perfect.
Okay, so I know we've talked about drums a lot. When you're thinking, don't tell me like, I'm just thinking like, when you're thinking about a drum hit and you're trying to make it do something like, you're trying to use compression to make it make a sound. Describe what you're trying to do to like a snare sound. Describe it.
Well, the truth of it is that it's never just one hit you're hearing ever. No one's ever going to just listen to one hit. So it's how does the kit sound? that's always the defining factor. How does the whole kit sound? How does the snare sound? How does the kick sound? Can you hear, that? So that's why we have a kick snare, we have a compression, kick snare bus, compression bus, and then a dry bus. Because the dry bus allows you to keep the dynamic range, right? It's not being compressed. It allows you, so when like he's playing quiet, doing like small stuff,
it still be heard.
It still is heard, right?
Yeah,
and you blend that with the parallel bus, the comp bus, right?
Just very level.
Which is like getting slammed. And that's actually adding a level of consistency. It's much like the rear bus that we talked about for the mix, right? It adds a level. So when the band gets loud,
I don't
the rear
know
bus
if we told the public about the rear bus.
We have.
We have?
It adds we did. I think we had, like a long time ago. Anyway, so I'm 97% sure, not 100. But like when the band is loud, the rear bus is compressing. But when the band gets quiet, it allows it to come in and maintain some volume, so it helps the dynamic range. Anyway, same thing for the kit. And the kick snare is, if they're ever hitting kick or snare, like most of the time, it's going to be in the context of something that's being actually hit.
All right, ready? Hard. Batter's box on the drums. Ready?
Okay.
You know Pensacola plays batter's box.
Remind me.
All right. Favorite compressor on the quick kick. Go.
Ooh. The SSL channel comp.
Favorite compressor on the snare. Go.
That's so hard. Honestly, I think I'll pick the SSL channel comp again.
All right. Same. Favorite one on Tom's.
Same. They all have different purposes, but the kit sounds the same. You know.
Overheads.
Our compressor.
Are there any other drums?
No.
No, yeah, that's pretty
Gongs?
much it.
No, the R compressor is just so good. It's so smooth.
You ever use that on vocals?
Rarely. It's RVox, but
with
more
variability.
Knobs, with more knobs.
Yeah.
But
there's so much to talk about with compression. I mean, I think for those deep into it, like us, I feel like the biggest breakthroughs I have with compression is when I try different things, and I'm like, I think of compression more like colors.
Yeah.
In the sense of like, I want to make this feel this way. I want to make this feel this way. If I'm trying to create a feeling. Yes, because feelings matter.
They do matter.
Feelings matter in the world.
To you, not in the world, but to you. Yes.
Yeah, I guess they do. Barely though. So what are you trying to? You trying to make it more aggressive?
Yeah.
Also, I think once I got in the range of rather than reaching for EQ instantly, like if it was EQ'd right at some point, but now I want to change it, I think, wait, stop. Let me mess with the attack and the release.
Yeah.
Maybe I could fix this, because if I change the EQ, I'm making such a definitive move.
Yeah.
It's so consequential. It's not going to change with the change of the signal.
Compression is dynamic.
It changes with the change of the signal, exactly.
And just so everyone knows, I'm wholeheartedly against my religion to use the F6 compression.
Oh my gosh.
And
Brandon with F6 compression. Even on the guitar bus, you're against it now?
Yes. I will not even use the Fab Filter version, which is much better. The Pro Q4 compression.
So Brandon's completely opposed to dynamic EQ compression. He thinks it sounds terrible always.
It does nearly always sound terrible, but it's fine. It's good to control some things, yes, but like the amount of, like if you have a problem and you have all these layers of compression and EQ and an EQ that's doing compression, which is like, okay, anyway, but like, okay, the only
there's only one application that it's perfect.
The only acceptable.
We're gonna say the same thing.
It's the only acceptable use, in my opinion, is like that I've ever used. I'll speak for myself.
Speak for yourself,
the spectral dynamic compression on the Fab Filter Pro Q4 is awesome. It's great. So it takes like the loudest frequency, not the band, just the loudest frequency
and
in a range and notches that.
That's brilliant.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's great. But of course, the F6 can do none of that.
The only context that I disagree with you in live sound in a PA is if you have subpar guitar tones to start, which most of the time you do. Most of the time, if we're being real. You can put just out in the wild, I'm saying, most of our listeners.
Out in the wild.
Yeah. You can put on a guitar bus, you could put a little band that in a given room, the drywall, the plaster, the whatever, resonates 3.2K, just nasty.
Yeah.
Rather than just notching it, you can put a dynamic band with limited range.
Or you could use a C4. That's a
See,
compressor.
with a C4, you're committing to a gigantic range.
You can make it very narrow.
Okay, well then you're just trying to do it, and you're just saying you like how that C4 sounds
C6, or a C6.
That is F6.
My.
You're just saying F6 sounds terrible.
No, it's not about the sound. It's about the confusion when your workflow.
I see.
So if you're using your multi-dynamic EQs,
C4 can do it. Yeah, I just think like sometimes the visual feedback on F6 is so good.
It is, yes.
The visual feedback. So it's like, I can just make a little move, even like a notch. Like if someone gets a whistle when they, like even like Abby, for example, she has that like 11K, like because she has the there's something up there. That's something that in the verses you might really want still.
Yeah.
But then in the chorus, when she's ripping, it's just like a high threshold, and it's just like.
Yep.
I don't know. I think it could be applicable in that context.
That's
kind of record mixing
if I were
level
mixing
detail.
The same thing, band all the time.
Yeah, because you're talking complication.
I
agree with you on that point.
Everything. Here's the truth. Everything is complicated, right? Different bands. We got trying to make the most universal application. That's what I do. Anyway. All right.
Guys, this was so fun. We could talk impression all day. We would love to see your comments about this. Thanks for joining us. We gotta go.